up, everybody? Happy Sunday. Guess what I'm about to make? Everybody's favorite rice pudding. I am making a rice pudding for one of my dearest friends, Tracy, who lost her dad a couple of days ago. Tracy, we love you so much, forever and always. And there's no way that I think any rice pudding or anything like that could ever take the place of what you and your family are going through right now. But I know that you and your mom and your family members love my rice pudding, so I am so excited to make it. All right, so to make rice pudding, for me, my rice is already done, so I can tell you all that what I did was I always use medium grain rice. If you cannot find medium grain rice, forget it. If you can't find medium grain rice, your rice pudding is trash. That's my opinion. I don't use long grain rice. I don't use anything other than medium grain. Let me show you. I threw it away, but you know, I'll get it for you. If you can't find this river rice, don't attempt making rice pudding. Not my kind. Okay, and I first learned how to make rice pudding from my Uncle DB. D as in dog, B as in boy. Down the country many years ago, Uncle DB used to make rice pudding. He had no paper written down, he just used to whip stuff together. But I learned how to make my rice pudding from Uncle DB and Uncle Olin, because Uncle Olin learned from Uncle DB too. So here we go. So my rice is done. I used medium grain river rice. And you cook the rice until it's nice and fluffy. I already put my butter in my rice too. Why do I do that? I just have my own little quirky ways of why I do things when I cook. So it's 2 sticks of butter. Let me just back up. How much rice? It depends on how much you're making. Well, today I'm making like one of these, but I'm also gonna make a little small pan for me and Stan, because we kind of greedy and we love rice pudding too, right? So I used 3 cups of uncooked rice, and I just kind of estimate everything else. I really don't have a written down recipe for this. It's just up here. And so this time I used 3 cups of uncooked rice. How many cups of cooked rice does that make? I have no clue. I really don't know. But it's in this pot right here. I thought this was the song that goes, she was born 20 years ago, just with the rap part that come on with the people. That's what I've been waiting for. And it didn't come on yet, but. All right, so here's my rice. As you see, the butter has soaked all through the rice. It melted and soaked all the way through. So that was 2 sticks. So I used 3 cups of uncooked rice, and I used 2 sticks of butter, and I let the butter melt in with the rice once the rice was almost done cooking. So that's one of my secrets. That's a technique. Y'all don't tell nobody. Okay, that's just between us. So the rice is, I always make my rice pudding when the rice is really hot like this. That's another one of my secrets. Okay. So, what y'all been doing all weekend? Can somebody entertain me while I'm making this rice pudding? Since y'all getting one of my good recipes, y'all can at least entertain me. Tell me what's been popping. I guess when I say what y'all been doing this weekend, I mean, considering that we're all on house arrest, I know y'all still doing stuff. There was so many damn cars outside yesterday, so somebody lying. Ain't all of those people ain't essential that I saw outside Friday and yesterday. Somebody lying. I'm essential because I work for Spotlight Over the City and we are media, so I'm essential, so I can be out. But I saw a lot of cars out yesterday. There's no damn way all these people are essential. Where are y'all going? And what y'all doing? Tell me some stuff y'all been doing to escape the quarantine. For this pandemic. What y'all been doing? Okay, so I scraped all of the rice. And sometimes you're gonna see rice some people get nervous because when you have rice, I don't know if you can see it, but sometimes when you cook rice, you get these little dark things in your rice. It's not like a bug or anything. When you're doing grains, when you're using grains, whether they're whole grains or just white rice like this, sometimes you get some dark, really dark grains, and that's all that is. So when you see dark spots in your rice once it's cooked, don't panic and freak out thinking that somebody put a bug in it. Sometimes you get really dark grains. So I'm really fat and stuff, so if I see butter dripping in my pan like I just saw right now, I'm trying to get that butter out. So I'm scraping all of that butter that was dripping back into my rice. All right, so we got all of this rice, right? And the rice is, don't forget, you already got the butter in here. So now, look, my glasses are fogging up, y'all. So the next thing is sugar. I kind of this is like a diabetic coma almost. I overload my rice pudding with sugar. That's another reason why it's probably so good. So this is an experiment today with the sugar, because I usually don't use 3 cups of uncooked rice. I did more. So now I get to really experiment and see how much sugar I'm going to dump in this thing. So wait a minute. This here is a cup. This is 1 cup. So I'm going to start with, since I used 3 cups of uncooked rice, I'm going to start with 3.5 cups of sugar. And again, it's not going to kill anybody. Just drink a lot of water when you eat it. So here's 1 cup. See, my assistant, it should be like filming, like when I do the sugar and stuff, like a slow motion or something. My assistant took off, but you know, it's okay, it's okay, you know. That's 2 cups. And here is 3 cups. And so when my cup overflows like this, I don't care. And then when it's just like a little bit of sugar like this left, it's like, you know what, let's just dump it. So it's so it's no recipe, as you can see. We just like dumping. So I did 3, and I did 3 cups overflowing, and then I just poured the rest of it. Right, and so what you want to do is, thank you so much, baby. What you want to do is, once you put all that sugar in there, you the sugar melts, right? So it looks real stiff when you first put it in, but sugar melts. That's why I always use hot rice when I'm making rice pudding. Hot rice, warm rice. Don't let it cool off. If you let it cool off, it's okay. Like when I'm doing rice pudding during the holidays, just to help me out sometimes I'll cook my rice the night before. So what I do the next day, since the rice is not hot, I melt my 2 sticks of butter, and the butter is hot, and then I pour the hot butter into the rice that's no longer hot. But I never put my rice in the refrigerator either. So if I make my rice the night before, it sits out on the stove all night. Some people are against that kind of stuff. I'm not. It's not gonna spoil. I cook the rice at night sometimes, and then, so see, y'all see how sugar melts? Now watch this. When we first poured the sugar in, remember, Stan put the camera up close and the sugar was all thick? Look at it now. It's like liquid, because sugar melts. See, look at that sugar over there. I haven't stirred it in, so this is what it looks. But once sugar is stirred in, all of that's gonna melt, because the rice is really hot. Yep, look at it. So what do y'all think the next ingredient is? What would you say, baby?
Butter.
Since the butter is already in there, since you're a chef.
Oh, I didn't see what you put.
I've already done butter, rice, and sugar.
Cinnamon.
The next ingredient is actually eggs. So the next thing we're gonna do is, the way I make my rice pudding is, people's like, how do you know how many eggs? I kind of guess at that too. So this time, since I used 3 cups of rice and I used 2 sticks of butter, I used 3 and overflow of sugar, I'm gonna start with 5 eggs. Sometimes I do 4, but like I said, I made a little bit more rice this time. So we're gonna go with 5 eggs first, and then I'll see the consistency and see if I wanna do 1 more egg or not. But I'm gonna start with 5 eggs, and I always beat my eggs up before I put them in. I can't see y'all because I'm so far back. I see some comments, but Felicia said, you go, Betty Crocker. Yes, and Tierra Michelle, first of all, okay, you know, I got you. I can't, baby, yes, help me out, because I can't see. So, I'm going to get a bowl so I can beat my eggs. We're gonna start
Sabrina
with
said, first
5.
of all, she needs some.
Okay. All right, let me ask y'all a question. Well, you wouldn't know this because you haven't seen the finished product. But if you really, really love rice pudding, if I started like making little things of rice pudding, would you all be like, Terry, I want to order some rice pudding?
It's the best in the world. I can't lie.
My husband said it's the
It
best
is
in the world.
amazing.
Would you all buy some if I started making little containers of it? Well, what I would do is I'm gonna start giving out samples. Anybody want some samples of rice pudding? Let me know. Hit me up.
It's fire.
And then once you get the samples, Vonnie, tell them that I make good rice pudding. Vonnie on here, she know. Would y'all buy them if I made little small rice puddings? I need to know, because then I'll figure out if I really want to start doing that or not. Because everybody always asking me to make them. And I'm like, you know what? I could just start making little rice puddings for people and see how that goes.
Because we gonna have what restaurant?
Because my husband, who is the brainchild of the family and the creative one, he came up with Longing for It. That's going to be our restaurant. Longing, because our last name is Long. So our restaurant is going to be called Longing. Longlin. Wait a minute. I might not can spell right now, but you get it. Longing for It. The number 4, it. And rice pudding is going to be on the menu. How many restaurants have you all been to where they have rice pudding on the menu for dessert?
And corn pudding.
I'll wait. Tell me how many restaurants you've been to or carryouts that have homemade. I ain't talking about that Cozy brand rice pudding that you pick up at the damn grocery store that's cold with them big rice pellets in it and it's milky. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the kind Vonnie can tell you.
Everything
The kind that I
homemade.
made. Everything homemade.
Longing for it.
Yeah. So now we got to do the eggs, y'all. Let's do the eggs. I see all of these comments coming in and I
Greens,
can't-
mac and cheese. What else on the menu?
can't see.
We
Honey.
have special cornbread.
Oh yeah, I have
On
this.
the
I
menu.
have this cornbread, y'all. That maybe we'll do that one day this week. I think maybe one day this week I'll do fish and cornbread and something else, because this cornbread. If I give this cornbread secret away though, y'all gonna be in debt to me or something if I give y'all that. I've never given away my rice pudding recipe, so for me to be doing this, giving y'all my secrets. And I haven't even opened my Longing for It restaurant. Y'all better not give out my rice pudding recipe. Anyway, I'm just playing. I'm not playing about the restaurant, but I'm just playing about my recipe. I want people to know, because I'm gonna put this on our long. We have a YouTube channel called The Long Way. It's still so very new. It's probably only got 1 or 2 videos on there. But I'm taking all of these videos that y'all always see, these live videos. I'm gonna put them on a YouTube channel. I sure am, and it's called The Long Way. I gotta get the eggs. I'll get to talking to y'all, and then I can't get the eggs. Let me come see some of these comments. I'm sorry. Now I gotta put my face all up in the camera. Hey y'all, happy Sunday. What's everybody doing? Woo wee. Hey y'all. I got all y'all on here. What's up, y'all? Andrea, Kelvin, Steve, Felicia. Hey Fee. My mom making her rice pudding. Sabrina, I got you. Tell Tierra to come get some for you. I'll get you your own little container. What's up, Kim? What's up, Johnny? Danielle? Hey, everybody. Devin? Hey, girl, sing me something. Devin, sing something for me, because she can sing so good, y'all. So, all right, let's do the eggs. Hey, Fee. Okay, I got my eggs. I just need to beat them up first. So I'm gonna start with 5 eggs. Let's try that first. You think that's a good number, babe? Let's do 5 eggs. Since I usually do 4 eggs, I'm gonna do 5. Have y'all ever heard the story of why I only use brown eggs? You never see me ever use white eggs.
What's the story? I want to hear it.
I use brown eggs because when I used to go down the country to stay with my grandparents, they had a whole bunch of chickens, chicken coop. And we used to have to go in the chicken coop and get the eggs and bring them back in the house. So I've never been in a chicken coop with real live chickens and got any egg that were white. I've never got an egg from a chicken out of the chicken coop. We had real chickens. And the eggs that those chickens laid were all brown and had spots on them and stuff like that. I had never seen a white egg until, I guess, when I started going grocery shopping. So that's the reason that I use brown eggs. I don't know if it makes sense or not. I don't know if there's some other chickens in another part of the country that lay white eggs. It's possible. I just never seen it. So I don't know how they get them to be white. I always use brown eggs, and that's why. Because I used to have
I
to.
want to know, do anybody know why they white?
I don't know. So have y'all ever, like, have any of you all been country enough to be privileged? I think it's a privilege. Demi, hi. Hi, Dana. Demi, do you use brown or white eggs? Demi was too young. She didn't go in the chicken coop. Demi, when I used to go in the chicken coop down the country at Grandma and Sugar Daddy house, the eggs that the chickens would lay were always brown. And they always had, most of them had brown spots on them. That's how when I go to the grocery store, I open up the thing and I get the carton of brown eggs that has the most spots on them. Now you see how you repeat those things that were put in you when you were little? Like I try to find the brown eggs off the top. If I buy white eggs, it's because I'm desperate and Stan eats eggs every morning. And at the end of the day, if he boils eggs, he don't care if they white or brown. But I never go looking for white eggs. And it's because when I used to get the eggs out of the chicken coop, they were brown. I ain't never seen no chicken lay a white egg. And if somebody has, show me. I just don't know where you see that at. So that's why I don't buy them. All right, so we got 5 eggs. Demi, you want to learn how to make my rice pudding? That's what I'm doing right now. We already did the sugar. Sometimes I'll be forgetting where I left off. But I know it's the eggs, so I got to get a bowl to do the eggs. Okay, so now, okay. Hey, Shawana, I'm doing a rice pudding from scratch. I already did my rice. Quick recap, the rice, I cooked that already. I let my butter melt inside of the pot of rice. I already did that. We put the sugar in here already. So now I'm gonna beat 5 eggs. I beat them first.
That's where I gotta get the egg cracker and hurry up and invent it.
That's right, babe. So I don't have to do this. I can put them in the egg. Yes.
I'm almost there. I've been working on this egg cracker.
I need to move over here because, yeah, this is better.
I've been using my brain.
Yes. Shawana, have you ever made a rice pudding? I'm thinking about creating a rice pudding line, T-bombs, something. Y'all help me come up with a name for it, but it's gonna have T-bomb. Hi, Michelle. Hi. And tell Alexis I still have not seen my. I don't like shells in my. This gotta go. I don't like shells, and I see shells. I'm real funny about that too. If I see a shell, I go crazy. So I know I'm not a very good egg cracker, but I'm making a rice pudding, y'all, and I'm putting 5 eggs in it right this minute. The key to my rice pudding, and this is the first time I've ever shared this with anybody. People think that you can just go get any kind of rice, Uncle Ben's, whatever. You cannot. Well, you can do what you want to do, but I refuse to make rice pudding with anything other than medium grain rice. Like it looks like, honestly, I mean, this might gross people out, but it's like, think of a, never mind, I ain't gonna say that. Anyway.
That's what I gotta do with it. You gotta think about it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna not say that. But yeah, I use medium grain rice only. Long grain rice is what we eat when we eat our food and stuff. But for rice pudding, I only use medium grain rice. So I beat my eggs. The eggs go in here. So I'm gonna start a rice pudding line. I don't know what to name it. Y'all, anybody creative enough to help me come up with a name? T-bombs, I guess. T-bombs rice pudding. I don't know. That don't sound fun enough. Y'all know I'm a little cuckoo, crazy. Oh, Michelle, I want to see my adopted grandbaby before he turns 10 years old. I haven't seen him. Okay. So it looks kind of gross once the eggs are in like this. That's kind of gross looking, but that's. So what's next? Now we have rice in here, butter, rice, butter, sugar, and we've got eggs. What's next, do y'all think? What do you think, babe? What's your guess at what's next? The next thing that goes in here is milk. Okay? Milk. I'm looking for evaporated milk. And if I don't have any, I'm going to go crazy on this live. Okay. Got it. I always, this is not my favorite brand. I'm funny about my canned milk. I really prefer Pet brand evaporated milk, but today Carnation brand is gonna have to do. So I use a whole can of this in my rice pudding, a whole can. So we're gonna do that right now. Wake up with no panties. I like that. Wake up with no panties, right, baby? You like that? Okay. My can opener is kind of whack because it's so worn out. Baby, I've had this. Let me tell y'all something about this right here.
Why do you keep having old shit?
I have had this joint since probably 1995. This little thing right here, and I got the fancy little electronic thing over there, but I'm just old, I guess. Not old like that, but old for other things, and I just prefer, even though it's, yeah, some certain things I just like that are old. So I put the canned milk in here. Always evaporated milk for me. All right, now eventually, I'll just do it now. But eventually, I'm going to put a little bit of water in this can because at the end, I just have to see how the consistency is first before I know how much water to get. So I just poured the whole can of milk though. So that's the start. So we got the milk. Now can you see it? Okay. If it's not broken, why fix it? That's right, Fee. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's what I be telling Stan because he be joning on me for some of the stuff that I got around here that's old. Like some of my 1993 pots and pans. Stan be like, get rid of that shit. But it's like, it's not completely broken. One of them got a broken handle. So look, it looks disgusting right now.
Yeah, it doesn't look anything like it.
It doesn't look anything like you would like it to look right now. But this is what it looks like. It's got everything in it from the rice, butter, sugar, eggs, and milk at this point. Okay? The next thing I put in here is this is vanilla extract, right? And I do use a little bit of lemon extract if I have it. I hope I do. Okay. So I use like a little splash. I don't know how much, but let's just say a little. Let's say like a little. Oh, that's probably a little bit more than I wanted, but I don't trip. I just keep moving. Vanilla, I use more obviously. Hey Joyce, I'm making rice pudding. So this is the vanilla, and again, I don't measure it, but for vanilla, I just do like a couple splashes. If somebody know what measurements look like, y'all can tell me how much y'all think this is, because I don't know. But I just kind of eye it and do like this. Okay. So vanilla. All right. Cinnamon. Again, I don't know how much. I just do like this. That's how I cook. I just be like, do like this. I don't like it too overly cinnamony. So cinnamony. So I'm cause cinnamon is strong. Okay, so that, and then this is nutmeg, and I just do some shakes. Okay, let's do some shakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we stir it all up. Okay, now this is the part that's probably going to gross most people out. But I don't serve any type of food. I don't cook any type of food without tasting it.
Oh yeah, no.
Now this requires you to block the fact out that you got raw eggs in here, evaporated milk, straight out the can. But I have to taste it because if I don't, I won't know where we stand right now with the sugar and stuff like that. So I have to taste it. And I have to get past out of my mind that it's got raw eggs in it. So, I usually have like a little, I'll use this. Use my little tasting cup. Okay. It is super good and it's super sweet, but just remember, for me, when you cook and stuff like this, it's super good and super sweet right now, but once it bakes, I forgot what my grandmother told me about that. When it bakes, it either gets sweeter or less sweet. I think it gets a little bit less sweet or something like that. So I'm gonna I always put a little splash of brown sugar once I'm done. So I used white sugar when I cooked it, but now I'm gonna dump a little bit of brown. You wanna taste this, baby? Huh?
Nope.
It's raw eggs and stuff, but this is kind of good, y'all. A little bit of brown sugar. My final ingredient is raisins. Could you take it? Wait a minute. Could you take it, then put it? Wait a minute. Fee says, could you taste it, then put the eggs in it afterwards? You could do whatever you want, Fee, but for me, that doesn't give me I don't know, it's something to me that you gotta wait until you got everything mixed up and then you just gotta taste it. You could taste it before you put the eggs in it, but that means you gotta put the eggs in last. And for me, in my mind, I think that my process is the way it's supposed to go, because that's the way my Uncle DB did it back in the day. He always did the rice, then the butter, then the sugar, then the eggs, and then then the milk, then the other stuff. So I don't know if you switch it around and taste it later or whatever. But girl, I don't know. So I just do a little bit of this brown sugar because it's already sweet. But my last secret weapon, I don't know. It's probably half people who love raisins, half people who hate them. Stan doesn't prefer the raisins in his, so I'll usually make one side of the pan with no raisins for lame people who don't want the raisins in it. That's what I say, that's lame. Oh, that didn't mean to dip my brown sugar bag in there. That's enough brown sugar anyway. So I am gonna put raisins in it. And so I guess once I make my rice pudding brand, I'll just say, do you want one with raisins or without? I just think it's so lame to make rice pudding without raisins. It's like it's no point. But I know that some people get grossed out by raisins. So if you don't want raisins in yours, I guess I will make it without raisins. But hey, neat. But this one is going to have raisins. So I just stir everything up. Usually rice pudding will cook a little thick. So I'm going to put a little teeny bit of water in. Remember, we use this whole can, but I'm going to put a little bit of water in it with this. Not a lot. That rain stop, babe? Okay. So a little bit of water. So, baby, you want to see the finished thing before I put it in the oven? A little bit of water. It's soupy. So it should look like this, y'all.
So how do you know how much soupy, like you say soupy, how do you know if it's too soupy? How do you know how much water?
The only way, I only put a little splash of it because the only way you're going to really know is by trial and error, honestly. Because I've made rice puddings that were too dry. I've made them that were too loose. Right? Too loose.
Loose booty.
Loose booty, yeah. I'd much rather have it be too dry than too loose, because once it's too loose, it's nothing you can do. If you make your rice pudding too dry, which means you didn't put enough, see, a lot of people, when they look at it like this, how watery it is, they're like, oh, that's too soupy. It's really not, because when it cooks, them eggs are gonna make it all stick together. So this is not too soupy. This is a perfect consistency right here. You're gonna see. You're gonna see. Right. I'd rather have it too dry, because if it's dry, you can always melt some butter melt some butter and sugar and kind of like butter sugar water and stir it up in there if it's too dry. But once it's too soupy, what you're gonna do? Cook some more rice and add this. This is just a wrap. If it's too soupy, you just buff it up all the way. All right, so I'm pouring some in here, and then I'm gonna pour some in here.
Coming out the bowl. It's not that appealing.
Yeah, it's not appealing coming out of the bowl. I get it, but it's gonna be so amazingly good. Okay. So, the first pan it's got more juice in it, so I'm going to transfer some of the juice from that pan to my little personal pan over here, so that it's not one, so that this one don't come out dry and the other one is soupy. I'm taking some of the juice off of here, right? So this one, okay. Well, Joyce, what you saying, Joyce? I gotta come over here and get up close because I can't see shit, y'all. You need to start measuring for accuracy, especially if you're gonna, oh yeah, Joyce, I probably do. I probably do need to do that. Okay, so next time, you're right, Joyce, I'm gonna go ahead and measure. Yeah. All right. So now, all you do is kind of stir it up once you got them in the pan so your rice is evenly distributed. What you don't want is to have a big pile of rice in the middle and then the edges got all your soup and your juiciness because it's not going to cook right. So you kind of like just evenly distribute the rice throughout your pan. And then you get your raisins. I know I gotta have another thing of raisins, but I know I bought some more. I thought I did. Okay. All right. So, raisins. I don't use those golden raisins that look like boogers. I don't use those. I use these. I guess dark raisins look like dead flies, but I'd rather have dead flies, I think, than boogers. I don't know. Babe, what would you rather have? If you had to eat one or the other, dead flies or boogers, what would you eat?
How you get over there on that?
Because we're talking about what raisins kind of look like. Would y'all rather eat dead flies or boogers?
Yeah, wow. That's what's on your mind. You're cooking so bad now.
What?
Let's go back to the raisins.
Raisins? No, I'm just saying, like, some people don't like to eat them because I don't use the golden ones because to me they remind me of like boogers, and that's why I don't.
Those work.
But some people say these look like dead flies. So I don't know. I'd rather eat dead flies than boogers. That's just me.
I'd rather you don't put none in the house. Just put them in
No. Raisins.
I don't even eat raisins.
You need to grow up, babe. My husband's, his palate is very immature and very basic. I don't even eat raisins. He don't eat tacos and stuff like that, right? I'm doing this side over here, baby, with no raisins because you're a baby when it comes to your.
I don't eat tacos. My palate.
You don't eat. You don't try. You're not adventurous with your eating. So I say, when you're not adventurous, you're just immature. Like he won't try Brussels sprouts. He won't try. Did I ever get you to try asparagus? I don't remember. So you just need to grow up a little bit more when it comes to that. Like you're mature in most areas of life. But when it comes to food and stuff, you're just so immature. You really are. You need to grow up. You need to. You're going to have to. Because I'm going to become like a famous... No, you have to. Because I'm going to come like this world-renowned like a food critic.
Okay.
And we're gonna be together.
No,
it's like the long team. And so you're gonna have to start being more open to trying stuff like caviar and fish roe, sushi. Yes, you are. You have to, because I can't be that person and not have a husband who be like, yes, and she's right, and that did taste like that. It's just like I got on board with Spotlight. You're gonna have to get on board with being a food critic.
Take your sister, your kid.
Okay, y'all, so the raisins are in there, and I always stir it up again once I put the raisins in there so that the raisins are equally or evenly distributed throughout. Okay, so I do that. But on this one, the one for lame people that don't want raisins, I have to try to scoot the raisins over to one side so that the raisins don't get over here. If 1 or 2 raisins get over there on his side, all he will do is just pick them out. So I put all the other raisins over here on this side. Cheryl, I'm gonna make sure you get some too, sister. All right, so this is going in the oven, both of them. And we cook them for an hour. You cook the rice, well, this little one won't take a whole hour, but usually they take about an hour. Halfway through, I don't know if I'll get back on here. I'll get back on here when I'm taking them out the oven. But I'll have to give you a secret. Halfway through, once you see it a little bit firming up, you go in there, stir them all up again. It's gonna look like you're messing it up, but don't worry about that. Stir it all up again, because that's where a lot of people mess their rice puddings up, because at the end of it, their middle has cooked faster than the edges. That happens most of the time because it's real soupy in the beginning. So the middle cooks faster. So then you halfway through, you have to stir it all up.
So about 30 minutes.
About at 30-minute mark, stir it all up at one time and then flatten it out again and then let it finish baking. And then you will have the perfect T-Bomb rice pudding. Yay! So I'm gonna come back when it's all done and let y'all see the finished product of my rice pudding. And now I have to clean up and put it in the oven. Set the oven on 350. 350 for everything in my life. I don't use, unless I'm doing toast or something and I just put it on broil. 350, people be like, well, what you put the oven on? I'm a 350 oven person. I don't give a damn what the instructions say. 350 is what I do for everything I cook. So if you ever want to know, well, what she put the oven on, you ain't even got to know what the recipe is. If you know it's me, tell them I said it's 350 for everything. So when it's done, I'll be back. Rice pudding. And my camera's. Oh yes, honey. Yes, Funky. Can you help me?
Everything by yourself.
Help me. Come on, help me.
Don't look done, but okay.
It's done. It's done. It's done. How do you know it's done? When it's firm like this. You know what? Like this. You see a little bit of butters just dripping off like this. This is my personal little pan that I'm making. All right.
That's that 350.
This one, you know what? Since it's bigger, I'm gonna let it stay in for about 2 more minutes. But the little one is done. I have a confession to make to my husband though.
What?
Well, I kind of got a little tipsy off of the stuff that I was drinking for after brunch and stuff. And when I went halfway to stir our personal one, I forgot that one side, yeah, and then I mixed everything up with raisins. But what I did try to do is slide most of the raisins back over to your side.
Okay, baby, don't worry about it.
But yes, this one, let me bring it over here for you. This one is my personal one. Homemade rice pudding made by T-Bomb, me. And it is going to be so amazing. With rice pudding, my recommendation is that you let it settle for about 30 minutes. If you dig into rice pudding too soon, it could potentially kind of just like be like blah, mushy kind of, I don't know. I just don't, it may be no truth, reasoning, or anything behind what I'm telling you. I'm just a little weird about some of the things that I do. So if you say, well, Terry, why? I don't know. I just don't dig into it until it has settled for about 30 minutes. Another thing with rice pudding, I personally don't believe that things like this can spoil overnight if you don't put it in the refrigerator. I cannot stand cold rice pudding. Hate it, despise it. So for my first night, I wrap it up good and I leave it out on my countertop. Because the next morning, I just want to go and take my knife, spoon, finger, whatever I got that I can reach. I don't care what it is. And I just want to scoop in some of it and eat it. And it's going to be so bomb, room temperature, Don't have to heat it up, and then I'll just keep eating off of it. And then I won't let it sit out 2 nights in a row. After that, obviously I refrigerate it. And then every day, you know, if you like cold rice pudding, more power to you. But I always just, you know, put it in the microwave, take the chill off. I don't like it too hot. That's another thing. I don't think rice pudding is one of those desserts where it's good too hot. Rice pudding is the best when it's a little bit more warm than room temperature. Just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not room temperature, but a little slightly above room temperature. It's not good when it's piping hot. So that's another reason why it needs to sit, settle, chill out until you go and fuck it up. Because that's what we're going to do with this rice pudding. The other one that's in the oven, it was a little bigger and more dense. So I'm going to let that stay in for a few more minutes. But this one is done. So I'm going to start putting all of this stuff that I be cooking. I'm gonna start putting it on our, we have a YouTube channel called The Long Way Reality TV. There's nothing really on there right now except 1 or 2 videos. But all of these videos that we be doing in our kitchen, I'm gonna put them on there. So if you ever miss it and you're like, oh, what did she do when she cooked that that breakfast burrito I fixed the other day? That kind of stuff. I'm gonna put it all on The Long Way Reality TV YouTube channel. So just keep looking for this kind of stuff. I'm gonna put them all on there. And that's it. So it's all done. The other one is the same, so you don't need to hang around for me to bring that one out. And voila, you have homemade rice pudding with raisins. Y'all have a great Sunday. I think I'm gonna make, I made spaghetti for dinner last night. I'm gonna reheat that, and I'm gonna make some spiced steamed shrimp tonight for dinner. So stay tuned for that. It's finished, y'all. Yummy for my tummy. I think it's still some steam coming off of it. So it's still a little bit too hot for me. But I'm going to take it outside on the porch and enjoy this last few minutes of sunshine because it's supposed to rain for the rest of the night. And there's my finished rice pudding.